Hey, you guys, just a quick recap on what's been happening with Christopher Columbus is that they finally, after many, many days and months of sailing on the sea, they ran into land and they got off the land and claimed the land. That means they put the flag in and said, this is going to be the land for Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, okay? So what happens next is kind of interesting. Christopher Columbus and his crew were very proud and excited when they reached the land. They thought they had crossed the mighty Atlantic Ocean and found Asia. They were sure that now they would find the gold and the spices from India. They were sure that the king and the queen would reward them for their courage in making Spain the most powerful nation in Europe. They told each other, when we get back to Spain, we're going to be rich. Columbus's men followed him into the wooden island. The people of the island did not fit the description of the people in Asia, but still Columbus was convinced that they had reached their destination. Declaring, we made it to India, he named these people the Indians. But things did not work out quite as well as Christopher Columbus and his men expected. These Indians did not have much gold. The only gold Columbus saw was that of small rings that these people wore. Columbus gestured to them to try to learn where the gold came from. They pointed off in the distance toward other islands. So, after trading objects from their ships for the gold rings, Columbus and his men prepared to sail onward. The friendly Indians helped them gather fresh fruit and clean water. Just before leaving, Columbus gave the island a name. He called it San Salvador. He took the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria farther west through the warm blue-green waters. They found more islands, passing many and landing on a few. They lowered their sails once more off the coast of a larger island, which Columbus named Hispaniola. There, Columbus told his sailors, we will continue to explore tomorrow. Right now, I'm tired. I will rest in my cabin. Wake me if there's anything I need to know. But the sailors, too, were relaxed and sleepy in the warmth of the sun, and they fell asleep on the deck. A breeze came up, and the waves began to wash lazily against the side of the Santa Maria. That's the big one, remember? Then the waves became stronger, and slowly they began to move the ship. Still Columbus and his crew slept until suddenly, crash, the Santa Maria struck the huge sharp rocks off the coast of the island. Columbus and his sailors woke in a hurry. They rushed to look, but they were too late. They saw a large gaping hole in the side of the Santa Maria. Their ship was sinking. All they could do was signal the Pinta for help, gather everyone together, and hope to move to the other ship. Columbus's flagship, the Santa Maria, sank slowly into the calm blue-green water that had seemed so safe and peaceful. As it did so, friendly people from the island came paddling out in canoes and generously helping move whatever could be saved from the ship onto the shore. So here they are, the Native Americans or the Indians, helping them gather things before their ship went into the water all the way. Columbus had lost one of his 3 ships. Still, he felt he would return as a hero in Spain if he could just find gold. He noticed that the people who had been helping him wore more gold than the people did on the other islands he had visited before. When he asked them, using gestures and movements, they signed to Columbus that their gold from the high, heavily forested mountains in the center of the island. At last, Columbus had found a source for gold. He would start a gold mine in the mountains of Hispaniola. Using wood from the wrecked ship, the natives and the Spanish sailors brought it ashore and built a fort. Columbus chose some of his men to remain there while others returned with him to Spain aboard the Pinta and the Nina. Over the days that followed, he traded objects from his ships for some of the natives' gold jewelry and put the gold jewelry into a chest to take back to Spain. The sailors gathered unknown fruits and brightly colored tropical parrots to show the king and queen. They even took a few of the island natives, these so-called Indians, with them on the voyage home. Okay, a couple things to note is that they had to use their hands to talk to each other because they don't speak the same language, okay? And also, they did find some gold, but not as much as they were thinking when they thought they were going to be landing in Asia. Did they land in Asia? No, they didn't. So these people, the Native Americans, the Indians, they were super friendly and they helped them. They gave them food, all of those things. The journey home was stormy, and more than once the men thought that they would not get home alive. At last the storms ended and 2 ships reached Spain. The families of the sailors were overjoyed that their husbands and fathers had lived through the adventure. They were so excited when they saw the chest of gold, telling one another, "We'll be rich. We will all be great and live in palaces and be rich." After a long journey, the group reached the palace of the king and the queen. Columbus told them the story and gave them the treasures he had brought back to them. King Ferdinand, who had been so difficult to convince before, now smiled and congratulated Columbus and his men. Queen Isabella, who had always been friendlier, laughed and smiled and applauded throughout Columbus's story. And when he showed them the gold, the royal couple was thrilled. "You have done all that you promised," they said. Naturally, when Columbus told them they wished to go back and make more discoveries, Ferdinand said, "Of course. You will return to Hispaniola as the governor of the island. You will be in charge of all the western lands that have been discovered and claimed for us." Discovered means found. "And this time we will give you many ships, not just 3, but first you must rest and spend time with us here." Meanwhile, Columbus thought, "All I've worked for and dreamed of all these years has come true. I'm friend of the king and the queen. I will be rich and important. I will be doing good for this country." Okay, so quick summary. That means let me tell you real fast what happened. He found the New World, right? And was there a lot of gold there? No. But did he gather some gold? Yes, and he brought it back. Was the king and the queen happy? Yeah, they're thinking, wow, he did what he said he was going to do. Who were the Native Americans? What did the Native Americans do for Christopher Columbus and his people? What did they show him? Where the gold was, how to get your own food, fruit and vegetables, and that's all. Okay, so basically he finally made it there. He figured out kind of what's going on in the new land, but it wasn't the land he thought it was going to be. He came back and reported back to the king and the queen.